Very warm welcome to this final session of this marathon on the life and works and legacy and the teachings of Pujya Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda ji. Welcome back, Swamiji. Swami Chidrupananda ji here with us since yesterday, initiating and sharing very interesting bits, very inspiring bits from Swami Chinmayananda ji's life. So welcome back again, Swamiji. Thank you for making time for this session. Please go ahead and start.
Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam. Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram. Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram. Hari Om. So we are studying Gurudev's teachings now. We saw one beautiful story of a cave, people living there in the cave, and what is the role of a master. A beautiful story indicating many things were told by Pujya Gurudev. I would like to share two more stories which are told by Gurudev, and then some of the stories maybe you have heard also. It doesn't matter. In up above in Himalayas, there used to live two saints, two sadhus. And one used to live on a little higher, little up above the mountain, little higher on the mountain side, and one on the lower side. Both are on mountain. And the lower Mahatma, the sadhu, is a blind man. The higher one, it's all fine, he is not blind, is healthy, hale and healthy. Both of them are healthy, except the lower one is little blind. Blind. Not little blind, but blind. Sometimes this sadhu, he would go and visit the sadhu on the upper side of the mountain, spend some time, and normally he would reach in time before sunset. Though he's a blind, doesn't matter, but he made it a point to reach his own kutia before sunset, and the mountain path he is very well accustomed. He knew the path. So he would take his stick and then go and then come back. One day, it got delayed in returning, while returning from the other sadhu, who's on higher side, it got delayed. The sadhu, the Mahatma sitting on the top, higher side, he said, you are going now back to your kutia. It's a bit dark now. So why don't you carry a lamp with you? He said, I am blind and I know the path. Anyway, I am always in dark. How does it matter that light helps? He said, no, this light you carry so that others will see you in darkness, that a sadhu is coming, so that they don't collide or they don't hit you. So you please carry the light with you. It's a good to protect you from others banging at you. He said, that's fine. So he took the lamp, the light, and he started coming down with his own, of course, stick and holding lamp in one hand, coming down. In midway somewhere, while returning to his own kutia, the blind sadhu, somebody dashed him. And the sadhu was surprised, the blind sadhu. He said, "Why did you hit me?" Other man said, "Sir, it is dark. I couldn't see you. I'm very sorry about it. I'm very, very sorry. I couldn't see you. Therefore, I had hit you. I banged it upon you." He said, "But I'm carrying a lamp. Can't you see the lamp in my hand? How can you say that you can see me?" So the other man said, "Sir, this lamp, what you have been carrying, is already off. It is not glowing now. Perhaps you don't know." This other blind sow said, "Oh, I thought it is still glowing, which I am holding that lamp. Still, I thought it is glowing, but it is not glowing. So I missed it. Sorry." Now, this story has its own many ways we can. But one important point is that when we learn the scriptures from the Guru, we may not have enlightened or awakened, but then what we carry that knowledge, though we are blind by ourselves, we carry that knowledge in sharing with others. I am also on the path. You are also on the path. You are inspired to tread the path. So I am sharing what I know with you. So I'm sharing with you. But I don't know that I think I'm carrying the knowledge in my heart that is already off, meaning it doesn't make any impact on all the others. I am blind. I think I have that knowledge when I'm sharing it with others and talking about it. But that knowledge is already off. I'm not able to protect it. So it is not benefiting or anybody else. So that is what is happening to most of us. We carry that knowledge by from hearing the scripture from teacher. Being blind by ourselves, others also are not able to understand that we are carrying this knowledge because it is already off. As a supplement to this, I would wanted to share here. Long back, I read, I don't know which year, 86, 87, I don't remember now. Some brahmachari, I don't know which brahmachari because the name is not revealed. So obviously we don't know. At that time he was brahmachari. Now whether in the mission or not, we absolutely no idea because there is no name mentioned. One brahmachari wrote a letter to Gurudev that I am unable to, even though I am communicating, even though I'm speaking on, taking classes on Vedanta, etc. Some of the audience are dwindling in size day by day. People are not coming to me to listen to me. Somehow this is demotivating me. Please help me what to do. So that letter of that brahmachari without a name, date and place is concealed, hidden. It was hid. So that letter was published in Tapovan Prasad. Obviously, we don't know who wrote it. A brahmachari, a letter from brahmachari. Answer given by Gurudev also published. So he sent both the answer and question of the letter of the brahmachari. Both were sent to Tapovan Prasad. It is for all those people who read it, they can understand the plight of that brahmachari ji and what Gurudev's reply was. Gurudev said, "So dear brahmachari, your letter so and so," and then you said that audience is not listening to you, the numbers are dwindling, etc., etc., whatever it is. The Gurudev's suggestion is what? That go to a secluded place for about 2 to 3 weeks. Eat 1 meal a day. Reduce the fat around your belly. study, reflect, meditate in solitude. Come back, you will find your words are creating a tremendous impact on the audience. So, we all of us, when we have a little bit of Vedanta or subject spirituality, a little Gita knowledge, what we gain, all of us, we know that we are carrying it, that information, that knowledge and all, but it is not glowing in us. The glow aspect of that knowledge has already gone. I think it is with me. So when I'm talking, when I'm sharing, when I'm living these things, in houses also, everywhere. So I want people to know that I am student of Bhagavad Gita, I am a student of Upanishad, etc. And a family also. So I am gaining knowledge, but it is not creating any positive change or impact in the people around us. Because the glow aspect of that knowledge, the light aspect of the knowledge has gone. It was put off long back because of our nature of lifestyle, attitudes, etc. So therefore, very important is that to keep ourselves awake as best as we can in carrying this great message of the Rishis. Then the knowledge which was gained from the Guru, it should be kept glowing, blazing in light, blazing, it should be blazing. Then it will have a tremendous impact on oneself and also on others. But others' impact on others is a byproduct. First, we should live in the light, live as light, live in the light, and become light. So this is a beautiful story of that two sadhus. Through that, Gurudev communicated to us. Another beautiful story, this is also a very beautiful story in one of the books of Chinmaya Mission, which it gives us a message. There was a king. That king used to, good king he was, used to rule his subjects well. He had a special room in the palace. That room is not accessible to anybody. Only the king would enter into the room every day after breakfast, before he goes to the Sabha, Darbar, palace, in the Darbar, in the hall, with the ministers, etc. Before he sits there, he goes to that room after breakfast, hall. He would enter alone, lock and keys with him. He doesn't allow anyone to clean the room. He himself cleans it. And nobody knows what is it in the room. The lock and key is always with him. The key, he puts the lock, key is with him. And this king also had a dog, pet dog. The dog also will go every time with the king only. But the dog also is kept outside the room. And the dog would normally knew that master went inside. He doesn't allow me. So the dog sits outside. And after 20-30 minutes, the master will come out. The king will come out. And then he will put the lock, carries the key. Then he goes to the Darbar hall. And the dog also would follow. So that much secret he is to maintain about the room, the hall. Secret, bigger hall, bigger room, we can say. One day it so happened, when he went inside the room He came out. While he was locking, somebody came running to the king and uttered something in the ear. It was very urgent and he had to rush to the Darbar hall to meet and address the problem, a sudden problem. So in that hurriedness, he forgot to lock the room and he came running to the hall. He addressed the problem after for about 20-30 minutes. He was talking to everyone, ministers and others, everybody. He solved the problem. Then he looked here and there. He found his dog is missing. Said, please search for my dog. The soldiers and everybody, a team, everyone started running here and there to find the Raja's pet dog. In that search, somebody saw that room slightly opened, where Raja will enter into it, secretly spend some time every day and comes out. People would think, they used to spin theories on it. It could be a meditation room. It could be a room of solitude, all those things. Or it could be a room of his guru's photo might be there. So many projections were there on that room. But nobody dared enough to enter because though the door slightly opened, he could not enter. He was not dare enough to enter. In that search, he couldn't find dog, but he came to the king running. Sir, that door is slightly opened. You forgot to. Raja said, oh my God, I made a mistake. So I hope nobody had gone inside. So he rushed to the hall to put a lock. When he went inside, he saw his own pet dog dead in the pool of blood. Raja felt bad. He was inside the room. Of course, he closed the room again. He doesn't want to come anybody to enter into the room. It was a hall of mirrors. Everywhere mirror only. Mirror floor, glass floor, mirrors, side mirrors, ceiling also mirror. After breakfast, Raja would enter into the room. He would stand in the middle of the room and he see himself in different postures, different angles, standing there. And he used to enjoy himself in all those angles. He would spend some time for about 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, then comes out. The stupid dog also went inside. When dog saw, he himself saw in so many mirrors his own many dogs, he thought. And he started barking and then fighting with every dog, jumping on every dog, meaning on the mirror glass. It hit his head very badly with every side of the mirror, because when he's jumping, he thought other dogs also are pouncing. More dogs are pouncing from all sides. In that fight, dog lost the battle. So this is the exact difference between an ignorant person and a wise man. Wise man sees himself in different forms, in different sizes and shapes and gunas and qualities. He sees in himself, all the Jagat is all my reflection alone. It is me alone in all these forms. So he is not confused. He doesn't see many there. He sees one as many. But ignorant man sees everything is other than me. So he keeps fighting and arguing and jealousies, hatred, comparison, resulting into depression, dejection, and constant struggle and tussle with everybody. And then he leaves this life and then dies one day. So this is the difference between a man of wisdom and an ignorant man. So these three stories, and like that Gurudev used to tell so many stories. And each one used to were really very powerful stories he would tell. And he would always tell, Mahatmas used to tell these stories. We have many stories in our children's books also, and other books also. So I wanted to share these 3 stories. In the morning session, I shared 1 story. Now I shared with all of you 2 stories, which really give us some beautiful meaning, in-depth meaning. Right. Now, let us touch upon something upon Gurudev's powerful sense of humor. Gurudev mastered humor. In a sense, the people used to throng to listen to him. The talks were very jovial, live, and Gurudev's actions, gestures, facial expressions, he mastered the art. So the one who is not interested to listen the subject also would get attracted to Gurudev's personality, and then joke, and then stories, and in between, like a mother feeds the child in between, showing all different objects. When the child opens the mouth in wonder and awe, the mother would feed. Similarly, Gurudev used to teach those beautiful subjects in between, interspersed with stories and jokes and anecdotes and expressions. Gurudev was a master in it. And it has really, what happens, I tell you, a great master had said, when the speaker or teacher, he starts in a jovial mode, and then he really talks about sharing the jokes and all, what happens is the hearts of the audiences open, because they're relaxed, they're attracted, they're tuned, and their hearts would get opened. And it is that time the teacher can really reach into the hearts of the people, drop beautiful thoughts, because the hearts have become very well, they become good, recipients of that master's teaching. So that the great master has said, humor paves the way. And some teachers have used it in an excellent manner, very intelligently, very creatively, that humor as a medium of communication, and they have mastered it. And one among them was Swami Chinmayananda. And he would make some laugh, some, very beautiful. He is very witty. And again, I'm telling you, so many people are in the Chinmaya mission, those who have met Gurudev. So all of them knew so many humorous things he would tell. So once one person said, Swamiji, that she eats a lot of food, but she's always thin. I don't eat much, but I'm so fat. So Gurudev said, oh, here is the case which tells us there is an effect without a cause. Everybody laughed. There must be a cause, no? So sense of humor was very high. And someone, very fat person came. And Gurudev he didn't like that much being fat. Being fat is unhealthy. So when it's great difficulty, he bent and then put namaskar and then stood. Gurudev, he knew that person also. So he knew that, he won't be offended in a small group of people. So Gurudev said, did I ever say by mistake in any of my lectures, ever in the past or in the recent past, that the body is all pervading? I correct it. It is not. Did I ever say that body is all pervading? And the best part is, one of our youngsters, youth, Yuva Kendra members, is a very beautiful, one of our monks of Chinmaya mission narrates this wonderfully, that when they were all even youth, they cycled about 25 kilometers. They went on bicycle or so to about from one city to another ashram of the Chinmaya mission, outskirts, about 25-30 kilometers. they just went, or 40 kilometers, I think. Went and then they boasted to Gurudev, yeah, we came on bikes 40 kilometers. And Gurudev said, don't say loudly. Milkman travels 25 kilometers every day. There's nothing great about it. So all the gangsters felt so ashamed that Gurudev compared, milkman travels every day. You have traveled 25 occasionally and you're boosting. Oh, then that group of youngsters, after that I messaged them, they had so many rallies across the country. So many missions, Chinmaya Mission, Yuva Kendra centers have participated in longer rallies across the country. So that's how Gurudev used to humorously tell us and joke us, and then. And in another house, Pujya Gurudev was taking food. And the one who was serving was a doctor. And after food, he kept one apple. Apple was cut into pieces. After lunch, he gave them to Gurudev. Gurudev said, no, I don't want now. The gentleman insisted, doctor, no, Swamiji, you must eat apple. Then only the meal will be complete. I said, no, I don't want. Gurudev said. So he again insisted. And he told, Swamiji, apple a day keeps a doctor away. He himself is the doctor who is serving the host. Gurudev looked at him and said, don't give it to your wife and any of your family members. They all will keep you away, he said. Then don't give it to your wife and family members. They all keep you away from you. Apple in a day keeps the doctor away. So there's a big laughter in the room. And some Gurudev, some names are very popular. Yeah, that popular names for examples and stories, one is Kalyani, other is Guptaji, such names all will come. Some name will come, sometimes Ram Rao. So some names automatically would come on his lips to quote something. And another famous thing is that is the way he depicts, the way he tells, it's a beautiful action and all that. So there's a one South Indian housewife. Her name is Kalyani. She never studied anything. She's innocent, but very, very dedicated to the house and loving husband and serving the family, etc., etc. Such a housewife. So husband said, okay, I wanted money. So he went to his wife and said, Kalyani, now see. I will teach you some mathematics. She said, okay. Innocently she saw and watching. He said, gold plus chain is equal to gold chain. Gold plus chain is equal to gold chain. She said, oh, I see. Now, gold plus chain, right, minus chain is equal to gold. She said, okay. So, Kalyani, you give me your gold chain. Okay. I will take the chain. I will give back the gold to you. I will take the chain because what? Gold chain, so gold plus chain is equal to gold chain. So gold chain minus chain is equal to gold. So gold I will give you. Chain I will take. Gold I will give you back. Chain get cancelled. Gold it will remain. So take it back. She understood the mathematics and looked at him with a great smile. She went back into the kitchen, not given the gold chain. So village woman, a simple housewife, he thought, but she understood. So that is the very, so to understand it, you don't have to big thing. There is common sense is enough. So that the way Gurudev used to say, she never gives, is a more intelligent wife. This fellow doesn't know anything. Another very famous is that whatever you teach is there in the book, Swamiji. Why do I need a guru for? This very famous one. In our mission circle, we Everything is in the books. Why do I need a guru? Gurudev looked at that youngster and said, oh, then why don't you ask this question to the books? You ask this question to the books only. Why are you asking the guru? Somebody. The very fact that you are asking me this question, that everything is available in the books, why do I need a guru? Asking whom a guru, that indicates you need a guru. Once to a gynecologist, Gurudev said, you deliver into the world, into this world, and I deliver out of this world. Again, there's a big laughter. You deliver into this world, I deliver out of this world. Somewhere in some other country, I believe, he said, hi, Swamiji. So Gurudev joked, he knows my standard is very high and is reminding me of my goal. Oh, thank you for reminding me of my goal. Because hi, Swamiji, hi. And the best part is in an airport. Gurudev went to airport and security check was going on. And after that, he said, have a nice day, sir. And Gurudev asked, how? Tell me how. Maybe what he would have told, we don't know. So that has happened, it is. Tell me how. Another important thing is some people would say, they have said to Gurudev, that Swamiji, you are all surrounded by sometimes wicked people all around you. Bad people are also around you. Good people are there, of course, but some bad also are around you. I see some bad people, journalists. There is something they associate some person with that organization, this person with this and this background, that background. They have conclusion they just, and moreover they wanted to tease or ask such questions. And they didn't know perhaps the Gurudev himself was a great journalist. So Gurudev replied, so why are you surrounded by wicked people or sometimes bad people? Gurudev said, only sick people go to the doctor and not the healthy ones. Only sick will come to me, to go to the doctor, not the healthy ones. So it is good that they are all coming to me. You are perfectly healthy, spiritually strong and healthy. You don't need a guru. You can guide yourself on the path. Think. And Gurudev's prescription is very famous. He says, read 2 stanzas of Bhagavad Gita 3 times a day for 3 months. 2 stanzas of the Bhagavad Gita 3 times a day, same 2 stanzas. 3 months a day, 3 months for prescription, use it. Or different stanzas, 2 stanzas, keep reading. And some matter, never mind. Mind doesn't matter. That is a beautiful way. And in some group of places, Gurudev started telling same joke, I believe. First time he cracked the joke, everybody laughed. Second time he cracked the same joke, again laughed. Intensity came down. Third time, same joke, very few people laughed. Fourth time he repeated same joke in the same gathering. And fourth time, everybody looked at him. What happened to him? Why is he telling same joke again and again? So none of them laughed. Then Gurudev said, oh, why didn't you laugh? Just because I said same joke again and again. So if you cannot laugh again and again on the same joke, then why do you cry again and again over the same thing? It's a beautiful lesson, isn't it? I remember one of the youth sessions of Pujya Gurudev. He addressed around 1,000 youth and the 400, 500 elders also came. So jam-packed auditorium. And afterwards, we received around 150 applications from the youth, inspired youth, to join Chinmaya Yuva Kendra. And very inspiring. So I was there as a secretary of that center, Chinmayananda secretary. I was so inspired. I read all those. So I, in those days, postcards only. We got the postcards and then posted everybody. This please come. It's a beginning joining of the Yoga class, first class. So and so did. Very inspired and all. We sent letters and only 25 turned up out of 150 applications. So obviously I was disappointed. 150 were inspired. Only 25 turned up. So I wrote letter, Swamiji, Gurudev, this is what happened. Out of that, when you addressed and they are inspired, and then we had very difficult for us to catch them. Only 25 turned. So Gurudev put 2 lines there and said, be after them. Be after them. That be after them gave me such a inspiration. Oh, I say I must be after them. And we kept on. So that was Pujya Gurudev's mission. Sometimes, in letters what we receive, normally we put a place and date, right side of the letter, normally. Sometimes we received letters. We had a question and session in Hyderabad. So all my elders were telling Gurudev health is not good. So limit the questions, limit the questions, limit the questions. Only 10, 15 only. Don't take it. And because bulk, so many questions will come. 50, 70, 80 would come. Then I said, I went and asked Gurudev only. This is what, Gurudev, how many questions I should restrict? Then I collect only first come, first sir, only 10 questions or 15 questions. I'll put a Gurudev looked at me. It was 91 or 91, I think. He looked at me and said, never mind, I will write. He said, I will write them. Collect as every question, he said. So those of some of our elders were not happy. We were youngsters. They thought that these fellows will never understand. Gurudev is not well, elderly man. But we got all questions. Some Gurudev answered, and rest of them he ensured that addresses are put. And then after he left Hyderabad, and 2-3 days afterward, we started receiving replies. Some of the youngsters also were there, so they all got replies. On the top right side, it is written, in flight to Mumbai from Hyderabad on date. That means in the flight also, he did not take rest. He opens his desk, he carries his letters. That was Pujya Gurudev. Never ever wasted time. Every minute was in the service of the humanity. That humor, Pujya Gurudev's life. He used to enjoy his presence. Sometimes his looks itself used to make us laugh. He used to make us laugh even by his mere facial expressions. So that used to make our hearts lighter. As the great master said, it expands our hearts. And that facilitates the teacher's teaching, and directly going and landing in the heart of the students. So that's a beauty. That is another aspect of Pujya Gurudev. And you listen to many talks, his expressions and his general talks, especially the management talks, what Gurudev used to give. People used to laugh and jump out of their seats. That was Gurudev. So that is a little bit aspect of Pujya Gurudev I touched. Now, certain punchlines of Pujya Gurudev's teachings. There are plenty. So some I selected, very quotations of Gurudev's teachings. So somebody asked, what is sadhana? He said, shut up and get out. She was offended. How dare he say, shut up and get out? Then Gurudev, in an interview also said, I'm not telling you. You shut up BMI, body, mind, intellect, shut their activities, bring them down, make them calm. You get out of identification of body, mind, intellect. So what is sadhana? We have to shut up and get out. And another thing I heard from Pujya Gurudev, many times when people asked, please give us some message. This sentence I heard not less than 8 to 10 times in my life with Pujya Gurudev, whenever I was there. He will go to some house for Bhiksha or for meeting, and somebody will ask, what is the message? One message to us. He would say, keep your mind where your hands are, meaning living in the present. Keep your mind where your hands are. That you practice, used to say. Another thing is, what is the essence of Vedanta? Somebody asked, can you teach me? I missed a class or I could come. So please tell me, what is the essence of Vedanta? Gurudev said, detach and attach. Detach from the outer world, attach to God. That's it. In fact, whole sadhana is that only. Entire spiritual journey. Throughout the lives, what we have to do? Detach and attach. When the process of detachment is complete, and when attachment gets completed, that is the end of the journey of the jiva. Detach and attach. Now, tragedy of, another statement, very beautiful statement. Tragedy of modern man is decreasing happiness in the midst of increasing comforts. Is it not true? Decreasing happiness in the midst of increasing comforts. Today now we are more comfortable, no doubt about it. We have so many gadgets, all that, but then each one is not only when we are more sorrowful because more we are dependent and more problems are coming. Not only that, more and more it is contributing to a big mess on the planet. Electronic waste, that waste, this waste, so much of plastic. You all must watch this beautiful what do you call, documentary, Life on the Planet by David Attenborough. It's available in Netflix. You all must watch it. You will know what is happening to our planet and what we are doing it. So more the comforts we are, and happiness is decreasing. That is a tragedy. Another statement, punchline of Pujya Gurudev's, in all adversities, I mean quotations, there's quotations are plenty. I selected only very few and then what is there in my memory. In all adversities, there is a treasure of spiritual blessings secretly hidden. So Gurudev always used to say, you have no business to show your crying face to the world. Everyone has got their own quota of sorrows. So you go into bathroom, cry if you want, but come out and show smiling face. You have no business to show your crying face, dirty, ugly face, dejected and despondent face to the outer world, worldly people. And we always complain, people criticize me, and also Gurudev said, a successful man is the one who lays a firm foundation with the bricks that others throw at him. So every criticism is a brick of foundation for my progress. Take that way, he said. And the best definition Pujya Gurudev gave about disciple is what? One who submits to discipline is a disciple. And he did it, Gurudev did it. Otherwise, nobody would have stayed, he wouldn't have stayed with the Tapon Maharaj. Extremely, dedicated to the discipline, so much discipline with Tapon Maharaj. To love and get loved is the greatest fulfillment of life, Gurudev would say. And he did it. He gave love. Of course, he was very strict. He was very strict disciplinarian. You can't take him for a ride. You can't take him for granted. He never hesitated to correct. He never hesitated in life to show his own disciplinary angle to anybody, be it a political leader or maybe a governor or a minister, chief minister, never bothered. That he has to spend time punctuality. If somebody, some ministers were delayed to come on to the Yajna inauguration, he never waited. He just continued. Many incidents have happened in the country. So so people would correct their times. The moment Gurudev would sit on platform, they used to correct their times. Oh, this must be 6:30 now. That punctual he was. In 1988, yes, 88, we were attending third international camp in Cochin, in a beautiful complex. Anyway, that is it. So as I told you, I was also given a job of being security guard to Gurudev. Security guard, the name they put, but actually I was supposed to be, I'm with Gurudev, that's it. So I was with Gurudev. So one day, during those 7 days, the camp or delegates were there, and evening public used to come, thousands of them. Delegates were about a couple of hundred, 700, 800 delegates were there. Anyway, big camp it was. So for delegates, about 4 to 5, they have kept a Q&A session one day, 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. 6:30, Yajna time, Gurudev's talk time. So 4 to 5, Yajna, question and answer, 5 o'clock he would end, come to the guest house where he was staying, take a bath, and evening go to Yajnashala by 6:30, and then that's the program. So very tired, some exhaustion, like that only Gurudev lived. But that day, the questions were such, and when he was on platform, nobody would dare to go near him. And Gurudev was kept on answering questions. One by one. 4:55, not ended. 5. Our main organizers were hesitant to go and then give him a slip. Swamiji, time is up. Everyone was scared to go. And was one after one answering. 5:15, 5:30, 5:45, like that went on up to 6, 6:10. So somebody then got the courage and went. He just kept the, then he said, oh, it's time is up. So immediately he said, winded up, he wound up the thing, winded up, got up, and now we were there, so I had to go rush to the venue to receive Gurudev again. And 6:15, 6:20, 6:15 and 6:20 went to guest house, about 5 minutes drive from there, place, venue. I mean, the venue of Q&A session hall, and public lecture is another place, the same big complex. He took bath, and 6:40, the car stopped before Yajna. Very, very hectic schedule. The car stopped, so I was there. Only 1 or 2 people were there to receive him. He was behind the stage. The car stopped. He looked at the watch and said himself, shame on you, Swami, today, shame on you. I was wondering, this Mahatma, till 15-20 minutes before he was on the stage, other stage, and then talking. No respite. That's how his discipline was. And that's how he lived his life. As I said in the morning session, he used his physical body to the maximum, to fully used in the service of nation and humanity. So his love is, of course, great. To love and to get loved is the greatest fulfillment of life. And another important statement of Pujya Gurudev was, one who rests, he rests. So when I rest, I rest. That's the meaning. When I rest, I rest. Rest is required, is to sleep for a couple of hours a day. Another message. Gurudev said, everybody in the world says, I want peace. I want peace. Everyone, you ask them, What do you want? I want peace. 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 And Gurudev said, remove I, the ego, want, egocentric desire. If you remove I and want, what remains is peace. So more the ego, more we disturb, no peace. So ego and egocentric desires, when they are dropped, and what remains is peace. When somebody asks Swamiji, how do I gain more self-confidence? Gurudev said, you lack it because you feel, what will others think of me? Think about this. What will others think of me? If that thought is dropped, there's no problem. Like, what is self-confidence? Why self-confidence is not there? That we may fail. But so what? Others laugh. What will others think of me? If that thought is dropped, no problem. One can go ahead. And another beautiful thing Gurudev said about Mahatmas, he has done it because he used to visit many great Mahatmas and took their blessings in his life. He says, be humble at the feet of the great and thus loot them. Be humble at the feet of the great and loot them. Think. Somebody asks, what is your age? Age? I am unborn. He always says I am unborn. And then said, the older they consider me, the nearer they are to the truth. See, the older they consider me, the nearer they are to the truth. So the most ancient Sanatanam, Nityanutanam. The most ancient, ever fresh, eternal spirit. And another beautiful thing, last thing about this, in this series of this thoughts on Gurudev's, by Gurudev, short messages and punchlines. There are plenty. The autobiography of every man is, see that, run towards what you want and run away from what you don't want. Run towards what you want, run away from what you don't want. The irony of life is that whatever you don't want runs after you, and what you want runs away from you. That's a tragedy. What is the irony? What you don't want runs after you, and what you want runs away from you. There are thousands of such statements by Pujya Gurudev, very, very beautiful statements, and then punchlines, messages. It makes us think. In fact, it strikes us. So that was Pujya Gurudev. Now, another important thing is, which Chinmaya Mission people know about it, but we have to study or even know about it a little bit. So that is Pujya Gurudev's, what he invented in life was that his famous BMI chart. That we will study a bit now. Hope you are all seeing here. Are you visible? Is it visible?
Swamiji, I think, yeah, now it's visible.
Okay. It has gone again. That's why I put it again. Yeah. Now, this chart is a great invention of Pujya Gurudev. Our Chinmaya Mission people are well versed, not exactly well versed everybody, because using this chart, Gurudev was expert. He was expert in using this chart. And you would always use it most efficiently. So we'll spend some time on this chart now. One second. Okay. See, you are able to see this, some letters B, M, I, P, F, T, O, E, T. And Pujya Gurudev used to speak on this chart for 2 to 3 days, explaining the entire philosophy of the logic of spirituality, logic of religion, very exhaustively, step by step. He would lay a firm foundation in the minds of all seekers, listeners, using this chart. Let's see now. So this can go on and on and on, but then we have to concise it for some time. We cannot spend on this chart for longer time, but we'll spend considerable amount of time. See, we have this 3 instrument: body, mind, intellect. Guru used to call equipment, but equipment itself is plural. So equipments used, then he would correct us, no, it's not plural, but then I'm using it. So anyway, body, mind, intellect, we have 3 instruments, main instruments. We have physical body, we have mind, we have intellect. Sharira, mana, buddhi. Mana is mind, buddhi is intellect, sharira is body. We have all the 3. Now, what does that body, mind, intellect do normally? Body wanders in its field. Mind wanders in its own ground, playground or field. Intellect also wanders in its own kshetra or field or ground. Each of them, they have their own territories to move. Body, mind, intellect. And body moves among what? Among the objects of the world outside. It is called O. Body is moving among the objects. Mind and its field is what? Emotions. So mind is always moving in the field of emotions. Intellect, its field is what? Thoughts. So intellect is moving always in the field of thoughts. So thus, body, mind, intellect, and its field is what? Objects, emotions, and thoughts, respectively. Now, when the body is moving among the objects, physical objects of the world, what do? I perceive. The individual perceives. So I perceive the world of objects through the physical body. So body perceives objects. BPO. Body perceives the objects. So when I perceive the objects through the body, so eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin, I become what? Perceiver. I am the perceiver. Okay. When the mind is moving among the emotions, I feel them. I feel my emotions. Pleasant or unpleasant, I feel them. Therefore, mind, when it is moving in the field of emotions, I become feeler. And intellect, when it is moving in the field of thoughts, I become thinker. See? So, I am perceiver, feeler, thinker. Both in dream state and waking state, I only perceive, feel, and think constantly. I perceive something, I may feel in the mind, and think about it. So, all perceiver, feeler, thinker. So, in short, PFT. Who is the PFT? PFT is called individual, Jiva, ego, the entity, the individual entity, PFT, perceiver, feeler, thinker. This PFT, individual, so very beautiful thing again. What is the autobiography of every individual, every PFT? PFT means every Jiva, every individual, perceiver, feeler, thinker, entity, which is in between. What is the goal, or what is that PFT wants to achieve? Every PFT, Gurudev says, autobiography of every Jiva is what? To get maximum happiness out of objects, emotions, and thoughts through body, mind, intellect. Through body, mind, शरीर मन बुद्धि के द्वारा बाहर की दुनिया से मैक्सिमम हैप्पीनेस प्राप्त करें, ज्यादा से ज्यादा सुख प्राप्त करें. So, एक ही उनका एजेंडा क्या होता है जीवन में? व्हाट इज द सिंगल पॉइंट एजेंडा ऑफ एवरीबडी? हम क्या चाहते हैं कि हमारे मन, शरीर, बुद्धि, मन के द्वारा इस दुनिया में, इन इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स के द्वारा, उपाधियों के द्वारा मैक्सिमम हैप्पीनेस मे वी गेट फ्रॉम द ओईटी, ऑब्जेक्ट्स, इमोशंस एंड थॉट्स. ठीक है. So everybody is trying. All of us are constantly trying that only. Moment to moment. ठीक है. Agreed. Now, when we want to be happy from the OET through BMI, we want to achieve what we want to achieve, create emotions, what we want to create pleasant thoughts and ideas, what are very pleasant and inspiring to us, and that's make body, mind, intellect happy always from the OET. Thus, every PFT is constantly trying to get maximum happiness from the OET through BMI. Rishis have declared, oh man, including women, oh person, oh human being, you will not be happy, you will not get total and complete, a total fulfillment or total happiness from the objects, emotion, thoughts through BMI, because what? Why? Because you cannot have a perfect equation relationship with the objects, emotions, and thoughts through body, mind, intellect, because both are constantly changing. BMI set, body, mind, intellect is constantly changing. Objects, emotions, and thoughts are also constantly changing. Because these two are constantly changing, between two changing entities, you cannot have a perfect equation. So when they match for some time, for some few seconds or some time, maybe to few months or few days or few hours in some cases, so I feel happy. But that too, all the three perfectly don't match with OET. Both are changing. So equation is not possible without a constant. So here is our tragedy. And Gurudev would say, if you try maximum at a given point of time, 2 out of 3 can be happy, may be happy. But 1 is always unhappy. If intellect and mind is very good, mind is pleasant, happy, intellect is beautiful, body is not good, some ailments are there. Okay, body is healthy, and then buddhi also is functioning well, no problem. Mind only is not good, happy. Some emotional problems are there, relationships are there. Mind is not happy. A body, mind, intellect, they are happy. Intellect is not happy. I'm not getting what I wanted, what I'm unable to complete my mission, what I want to achieve. This is intellect. So 2 out of 3 may be happy. All the 3 can never be happy. And this is a tragedy of every human being. Now, even though we have body, mind, intellect, everybody's body, mind, intellect, and objects, emotions, and thought, that's fine. But then each of us are searching differently in different places. A drunkard searches for his happiness in his own field. A sportsman searches happiness in his own field. So like that, all of us have our own fields to search areas, and our desires, our concepts and ideas, all different from person to person. So what is the reason? When all the things are equally provided, body, mind, intellect, but very condition of body, mind, intellect also is the different from person to person. What is that? What is that entity, or what is that factor which is actually creating all these differences from person to person? And then Gurudev says, Rishis have discovered the depth psychological factor called V, or vasanas, or tendencies. Tendencies, vasanas. Tendency, something to repeat, a desire to repeat. So vasana pressure. So more the vasanas in an individual, that say arrow mark V to E, I is going, one arrow mark, red arrow mark, V to I. More the vasanas, more the desires in the intellect. And intellect will prompt the mind with agitations. Because of the desires, mind gets agitated. And those agitations are transferred to body, and through body, running out into the objects of the world outside and fulfilling the desires. Thus the entire thing, vasanas, more desires, more agitations, more actions, more selfishness. And then actions we do, we are not unhappy. Results are not according to our expectations. So mostly, even the result is as it is, our greed increases. We want to try again, second time for another activity, another desire, and to improve the result. The results are antagonistic to our own thinking. Then we are depressed and dejected. We try again, we compare, and then constantly we are buffeted by this vasana pressure. There is no peace in the intellect, mind, and body. All of them are agitated. And these three, and because of that PFT wanted, that individual wanted, perceiver, feeler, thinker, entity wants maximum happiness from the OET, which is actually changing, and BMI is also changing. So certain things I desire today, but then I get that fulfillment after 10 years, but that by the 10 years, my desire is changed, my needs are changed, and I'm not happy. Now I'm not happy that I'm not getting it. Afterwards, I am unhappy because I did not get what when I wanted. Now I got it, which I'm again unhappy. Thus, our life is actually durvara samsara davagmitaptam dodhuyamanam durudushtavatai. Like that, we are actually being roasted in the frying pan of samsara, unable to take any piece of, and all that we are whipped by our own unending vasanas. So then how to, only vasana pressure has to be reduced. So therefore, through body, when we do, main body pradhan for karma yoga, mind is for bhakti, intellect through all the three to be disciplined, intellect through jnana is about discipline. Somewhere I have to start. So then I first exhaust all my vasanas through karma yoga. Karma yoga means, of course, you know that no fruits, hankering after fruits. The asanas are only exhausted in one line. No new vasanas are created. So vasana pressure is reduced on intellect. Intellect and the desires are reduced in intellect. Therefore, the relatively agitations in the mind are lesser, and therefore less selfish actions. And there's minimum vasanas, minimum desires, minimum agitations, minimum selfish actions. And Gurudev would say, no vasanas, no desires, no agitations, and they would stop. Then people will reply, no actions, no selfish actions. So this BMI chart, ke dwara Pujya Gurudev is, and then what is that ultimate substratum? What is it we wanted to reach beyond we? When we transcend vasanas alone, we can discover our own essential nature, which is nothing but Brahman. That is represented as Om, untouched, unconditioned, infinite, homogeneous, substratum of all. Adhisthana Brahma. Om. That is our own higher essential nature. The reflection of it is the PFT entity, one who thinks himself, I am perceiver, feeler, thinker. Technical language, abhasa, chidabhasa. This individual jiva. And then we have to trace back, go back, and biggest obstacle is vasanas. So reducing the vasanas through karma yoga. So Gurudev would say, quantity of thoughts to be reduced by karma yoga, quality of thoughts can be improved, must be improved through bhakti, and direction of thoughts are changed by jnana yoga. So this is the very beautiful explanation, very invention of Pujya Gurudev to teach whole Vedanta in this BMI chart. And if you know how to use this in any Vedantic class, a pictorial representation, of all the things, our personality, helps us in correct understanding and trying to make us grow beyond or understand the concept of Vedanta. It becomes easier. So Gurudev invented it and he has used it throughout his life. And when his pointer is to use their pointer and then is to talk, it used to be very beautiful understanding of this BMI chart. So this is the Gurudev's invention, which we cannot miss it in the life of Swami Chinmayananda. This is something very, very important. He had used it throughout his life. That was, so he was very anxious, and then he was very eager how to teach Vedanta, how to simplify them, these Vedantic principles. And with the help of the chart, he brought to our cognition what is happening to all of us. So that's how I shared that particular, thing about BMI, body, mind, and intellect. Okay. Now, some sentences, some thoughts of Pujya Gurudev regarding our culture, very important. All of us, we should understand. So I read some of the sentences now. Then I'll go into the mission activities, what is happening. Then we conclude this session, series of talks. Now, I will read. Cultural renaissance can be brought about only when the people get inspired by the values of life recommended by it. And so important, Gurudev said, intelligentsia in the country. Listen carefully, these statements, what I'm going to read. Intelligentsia in the country has learned to ignore their culture and their religion as something redundant and unnecessary. Nowadays is what, if you question everything, illogical questions you raise, and with suspicion and doubt and demeaning, you are called as super intellect. You have super intellect and super intelligent. So all those Rishi Munis and Mahatmas, those who give, they are not intelligent. I question and I doubt or suspect, I demean everything. I make fun of everything. Then I'm intelligent. So that is the problem with intelligentsia in our country. What are middle class people? Middle class people, those sincere, are living their religion by proxy, or they consider their culture as a sheer superstition. Middle class people, they practice out of fear and sentiment. But they don't have faith, but they do. They don't have that much intellect also, but they are very faithful. Faithful means what? Out of fear, sentiment. But inside, they don't know why we are doing it, what we are doing it, why these values, why these traditions, etc., etc. They doubt their own culture. And the rest of them, who constitute the so-called faithful followers, strictly obey and live only the non-essential externalism of the religion without appreciating its significance and the implications of its philosophy. Rest of them, they follow all rituals, but I don't know. They're very, obey what? And live non-essential externalism. So intelligentsia, middle class, and others. Therefore, to invoke the uniqueness of our culture would be to bring the salient features of Hinduism and inexhaustible beauties of our culture to the understanding of our generation. We are not proposing to do anything new. Respect and reverence to our distinct natural culture is the key. That we should understand. So we must actually put the thoughts, before you deny, before you reject, first of all, understand why it was given, what it was given. So when parents don't know, they say, no, humko nahi malum hai. Then they didn't get any answers, youngsters. And normally, naturally, they turn away. And see, the Upanishadic culture is the culture of our country. Very important point. The training given to the citizens of Bharat to live the Sanatana Dharma is called Hinduism. So long as the old religion is thrust upon the new generation, they shall revolt against it and express themselves as skeptics or even atheists. So we have to make them understand. Certain traditions are that depends upon yoga, different yoga, certain traditions. All traditions are not, but that is not our Hinduism. Upanishadic culture is our main. Rest of traditions are important. Some are very valid even today. Some are introduced for some time, but we must know which tradition is valid, which tradition is, interpolated, or what do you call. Some may not be necessary in this present age. But that is not our culture. Our culture is something more and greater than that. All that we can appreciate today is a logical understanding of the how, why, and wherefore of our religion. And he said, Gurudev, never consider yourself as unfit for this great task of cultural revival. Keep yourself available for serving the cultural cause of the nation by constant study, daily japa, and regular meditation. So never ever consider that I am unfit. No, we are all. And very important, see, tune yourself up, more and more to the immortal seers. See, immortal rishis, seers. They who gave us our sacred culture are immortal, superhuman in their wisdom and power. They can miraculously help the unfoldment in each individual. The seeker's intentions are noble, his dedication complete, and his faith strong. That means even now, rishis are available for us. This is Gurudev's statement. So our job should be not to make them unemployed, not to keep them as unemployed. We can invoke, pray, invite, request, they shall respond. This is Gurudev's statement. Be bold, be upright, studiously learn, sincerely live, lovingly interpret, serve others selflessly, and thus serve him who is the one effulgent truth behind all this world panorama. Cultural revival is never sudden, destructive revolution, but it is ever steady, constructive evolution. Hinduism for a long time has been suffering from some sort of lung congestion, so that life current was not getting properly purified from time to time, even though the cultural heart was limb-dubbing all through in halting irregularity, suffocated and choked by the poisonous atmosphere created by the political slavery, the defective leadership, the ruinous habits, lack of education, defective social adjustment in life, etc. The heart of Hinduism has been for centuries laboring against great odds. We are not blaming anyone for what we are at the moment. To grin in contempt at the past generations for their mistakes may be justified in a book of history. What a beautiful thing. वो पुराना जमाना में वो लोग किए, दादा परदादा लोग या परदादा के लोग ठीक से नहीं जिए, they did not live, our grandfather and ancestors, because of them we are suffering. No. That may be good for a history book, but it is not a healthy preoccupation for a seeker searching for the heart of the nation through a creative renaissance movement in the country. So Gurudev always says, don't look back and get dejected, despondent, don't look around and get confused. Look ahead and draw inspiration. He would always tell the youth, look ahead. And one who cannot find entertainment in solitude is indeed imperfect. The true test of divinity in ourselves is in our capacity to feel amply rewarded in ourselves by ourselves, meaning ekante sukhamasyatam paratare chetassamadhiyatam. We cannot, we don't use the word solitude alone. No, we are always lonely. In spite of all people around us, we are lonely. The Gurudev says, enjoy solitude. Cultural growth being a subjective unfoldment, none can help another directly, effectively, actively. Each must take charge of himself and regulate his own activities, order his own emotions, govern his own attitudes of life, and maintain the noblest of values of life in all his contact with the scheme of things around him. Dissipation of mental energies ends in the tuberculosis of the mind. If you have more waste energies, that ends in tuberculosis of the mind. To detect this wasteful disease at the moment and to carefully nurse back the tubercular mind to a healthy condition is a contribution of ethics in our yoga. Bring back that mind again to the healthy condition. With reference to the past, the present is fulfillment, but not a culmination. With reference to the future, the present is not a helpless ending, but it is a deliberate beginning. So look ahead, start afresh now. Gurudev says, start good work right now. Don't wait for muhurta, he would say. To the art of correctly and efficiently meeting the present without being prejudiced by the past is the art of living called religion. So not being prejudiced by the past, effectively living and looking ahead is the religion. Beautiful statements of Pujya Gurudev. And if among the intelligent and the educated, we watch an almost complete breakup of character, it is the nation's cultural bankruptcy at this moment that is the cause of it. Cultural bankruptcy. Ancient history of the world and its various cultural units, if studied detachedly, point to us the remedy for this inward shattering. There is yet nothing to despair. Our cultural revival plan must have necessarily a minimum of 3 schemes. Schemes to revive what? Manhood, womanhood, childhood. Schemes to revive manhood, womanhood, childhood. We have study groups, Devi groups, and Balak Vihars to address this. Study groups, Devi groups, Bal Vihars. Manhood, womanhood, and childhood. About Tapon Maharaj, because Gurudev would say always invoke Taponji's grace. It is never unfailing. It never fails. It is always, it is unfailing. It always assures us. Never failing. Gurudev says, let us not bottle this wonderful spirit of Tapovan in stone caskets and bury his spirit forever. The pillars of his victory over matter shall be raised in the heart of each one of us. Let us try hard to build a temple of purity in our bosoms and capture within at least a ray of his effulgence for our constant adoration. Regarding Tapon Maharaj. So these are the wonderful thoughts of Pujya Gurudev taken from book on our culture, religion, country, responsibilities of every one of us. Some of the video talks I would like to talk, which are available for management by Gurudev, very popular talks, or value-based management is one video talk. Address to management people. How to win is another good talk. In pursuit of excellence is another talk. And logic of spirituality, as already mentioned, logic of religion, some of the talks, general talks. Ecology. Gurudev says ecology, no, ecology, nature ecos. It is called ecology. And Pujya Gurudev's in life, his itinerary was very tight. As I said already, never ever rested. If I rest, I rest. That was his statement. So Gurudev's day would begin in the morning at about 3:30. And there'll always bunch of letters to write. And we would see the itinerary, where will be Gurudev be. So to that center, we used to post that letter. So either Gurudev, it should reach, that letter should reach when Gurudev is in that place. So after Gurudev's departure from that place, if the center receives the letters, they would again post them to next center. Or next after the next center. Once I wrote a letter and I didn't get reply. At Gurudev's letter, if you write reply, Gurudev letter, if you write a letter to Gurudev, the reply would be like this. You throw a ball on the wall, the ball will come back. That's how the reply would come. There is no point in saying, I replied, I wrote, he never replied. That doesn't happen. So one day I wrote one letter. I used to write letters to Gurudev. One day, one letter I wrote and he never replied, came. 3-4 months afterwards, I received letter. Then he wrote, your letter dated so-and-so went all over the globe and finally traced me and reached me here in US somewhere. In some other place here. It reached me here. You forgot to mention USA. I put address. I forgot to mention USA. The letter went all over the globe and reached him. Ultimately reached him. They found out this place. Where is it? So I made a mistake. I thought, oh my God. But the letter reply came. So you would write around 60 to 70, sometimes 80 letters a day, bulk of letters. And daily, every day talks. The spiritual talks, morning and evening. Cultural, the trust meetings or committee meetings and special lectures and visits. And visiting houses. And every house again, there'll be a lot of gathering. Talking to them. How he managed, we don't know. And one day, what I heard from some devotee, senior devotee, that long back, long back, he used to have one diary of addresses, 250 addresses he used to have at that diary at that time, beginning. Somehow the diary was lost. Addresses used to be there. Naturally, not much phone numbers also in those days, but addresses were there. Wherever phones might be there, addresses were. So Gurudev asked, it seems, okay, get me a fresh book. I put again name, diary. And one night he was awake and he wrote all 250 addresses again in that book from his memory. He put back on that book and said, now it's complete. Keep it safe. Done. Once one of our senior monks, is no more, Swami Chidrupananda, she narrated one incident. As I was talking, I was remembered that. In Uttarakashi camp, some books are to be sold. The sold means the camp delegates were there, they select some books, some morning textbook. So one book, what happened? The binding was ulta, reverse binding. So one is the devotee delegate came back and returned that book. So rest of the books all sold, right? Meaning the delegates took it away. So this Amma went back to Gurudev. This book was not good, Swamiji, not printed properly. The cover was reversed. So it did not, it didn't get sold. So Gurudev, oh, I see. I think I made a mistake. I mean, they made a mistake. Okay, that's it. Next day, Gurudev called Swami Sharda Amma and said, now you put this in bookstall and sell it. What did he do? He removed that cover, properly put it, applied gum, pasted it, and make it proper, and gave it back. And Swami Amma said, I was so ashamed that, why I didn't get this simple thought. Gurudev didn't say anything. He did it and showed it. A wonderful, wonderful person. Great Mahatma. That's why Pujya Guruji, Chinmayananda wrote 108 names of Pujya Gurudev. Each one name, there are so many monks who talk on it because, that reflects Gurudev's glory, Gurudev's lifestyle, Gurudev's life. Jirna Mandirodharakaya Namaha. He built so many temples, supported so many temples he were revived, including our Adi Shankara Nilayam, where Adi Shankaracharya was born in that place. In Chinmaya International Foundation, it is called, in Veliyanad, near Peravam. Veliyanad is a village, where Adi Shankaracharya's ancestral home was their house. So their maternal parampara. And though the Nambudris handed over, they couldn't maintain the huge illam. So they gave it to Gurudev. And there's a room where Adi Shankaracharya was born. Because for delivery, mother came to her mother's place in Veliyanad, maternal place. Thereafter, he moved again to Kaladi. So there's a small room. I believe Gurudev there. And they asked which room Adi Shankaracharya was born. The small room, so illam was there. So Gurudev closed when they were discussing which room it could be in that. Nambudis they're asking and all. So they were talking this room, that room, maybe he was born labor room. So Gurudev just kept quiet for about 5-10 minutes. He did meditation and said, here that was a room. And showed that was the room. And that room, that's called Adi Shankaracharya's really born. And that's the structure is about 300-400 years old. But the place, and it is same place. He brought back, that he revised many temples back to its glory. And Vivekananda Rock Memorial, Gurudev was first contribution in those days. He sent 10,000 rupees to Eknath Ranate. So Vivekananda. So that is and then in Chinmaya Mission, very beautiful way. Gurudev said he had knitted both monks and grihasthas should come work together. So monk's life is to study, preach, and grihastha's job is to look after center and the needs, and thus both of them are given job to serve society together. They are both to learn this, for both to learn and grow. Many aspects. The biggest problem is what, the mind in family. See, we are living in the midst of human beings, right? I don't have any personal enmity or thing with the animal kingdom. There are not kind of equation. No, not there. But with human beings, jealousies, hatred, comparison. Oh, I can't stand him. I can't stand her. So learning to live with the people around us. That's why I always feel don't misunderstand my statement. An organization is required only for the disorganized minds. If I am in myself perfect, I don't need any organization to organize but I need, why? I have to learn many things. If I'm absolutely glory, like Ramana Maharshi, organizations grew around them. Like Gurudev also, he did not bank upon any organization. It grew around him. We need it because for our growth, to learn. He created platform for us. Gurudev gave platform for everyone to serve. Okay. Now, Chinmaya Mission. We'll talk about Chinmaya Mission. What is it now as it stands today? The motto Gurudev gave us to give maximum happiness to the maximum number for the maximum period of time. And the website, if you see, chinmayamission.com website, our vision is what? The inner transformation of individuals through knowledge of Vedanta, spiritual practices, and service to society, resulting in a happy world around them. And mission is what? To provide to individuals from any background the wisdom of Vedanta and practical means for spiritual growth, enabling them to become positive contributors to society. That is the mission statement, vision statement, and motto given by Pujya. Gurudev motto given. Later on added by Guruji and all. So we have many, wings of mission, Balvihars. Motto is what? Keep smiling. So Gurudev started, Children's Well-Being Center in 1955. Children's Well-Being, Center. You all must watch in YouTube. You can go and watch Swami Chinmayananda, a storyteller. 15 minutes, 17 minutes video. He tells a story to children in America. You must watch it. The liveliness, how he taught children. Swami Chinmayananda, storyteller. So later on, that to keep smiling, it became motto, and then it was officially called as Balvihar in 1957. Balvihar started officially. 55, it started as Children's Well-Being Center. Now became Chinmaya Mission, Chinmaya Balvihar in 1957. There's so many sevaks and sevikas, hundreds of them and thousands of them throughout the globe. And every week they bring so many, and then abroad and all, more children would come. Saturdays, Sundays, with their parents also. They learn so many stories, games, drama, skits, art, and bhajans, kirtans, slokas, our culture, so many things they learn. That is required. Balakeshu cha samskaro, samskara pradhan balakeshu. And study groups. We have plenty of study groups. Gurudev started in 17th Jnana Yajna. Study group started during this Yajna in 1956. In 17th Jnana Yajna, study group started. Gurudev would say, please come, not more than 10. When more than 10, split into 2. Every Sunday, study, take a book, Gita or Upanishad, whatever it is. It is given, Gurudev gives scheme of study books, list is given. They follow that and study together. And 1.5 hour session. There is one sevak, not a speaker, not a guru. All of them sit together, study, reflect, grow. And if there any doubts are there, they go to that local acharya and they to clarify doubts. That's how study groups are. Very, very important. There are many study groups in India. They have been running since so many decades and they've studied so many books and wonderful. They are wonderful. Right? And Gurudev said once, study group is a must. No one should bunk the class. And so, what is the option to bunk the class? Gurudev said, only exception for you is your own death. Your own death is an exception to bunk the study class. Then he added, that too, tell the sevak or sevika that you are going to die in this week. Therefore, you will not be able to attend the class next Sunday or next Monday, whatever it is. That much serious he was. And then come Chinmaya Yuva Kendra. There's a lot to talk about youth wing. Well, I worked for youth wing for many years under the grace and blessings of Pujya Gurudev. So then, nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitram hi vichyate. There is no purifier in this world greater than knowledge. That's our motto slogan. And motto is harnessing youth potential through dynamic spirituality. As I said, Gurudev would always say, look ahead, don't despair seeing around you. Don't dissipate your energies thinking about the past. Draw inspiration always from the goal. And Gurudev, 1975 it started. When a group of youngsters in Bangalore, I asked him, how do we keep ourselves motivated? Then he started Yuva Kendra. That spread into many centers across country. Lot of programs, lot of cultural programs, events and camps. And then All India Chinmaya Yuva Kendra was formed. And then we used to have regular conferences. Gurudev used to come and address them, and they inspired, motivate youth, and a lot of books, and then so many activities steering the youth. Right? And most of the youngsters, Yuva Kendra members are become, some of them, so not most of them, some of them became Chinmaya Mission monks, and many of them are really some holding on to great work of Gurudev. Some have become great professionals in their own way, shining. So it's a big lot of work was happening and is happening even today. National conferences, etc., etc. And there are many books are there, and famous statements of Pujya Gurudev regarding youth are, Gurudev says, youth are not useless, but used less, and they are not careless, but cared less. In one letter to me, he said, when he read about the activities of Yuva Kendra, he was very happy and said, this will hold an umbrella for all the confused youth. So, and then Gurudev used to address hundreds of youth meets. I mean, everywhere he would address the youth. Okay. And then one other national camp in 91, Gurudev said, my chicks, CHYKS, Chinmaya Yuva Kendra members were called as chicks, CHYKS, are my only hope. And he said, chicks who don't study Vedanta are not chicks. He wanted everyone to study Vedanta, understand. And he would say, be a guardian angel around parliaments. Know what is happening in the country. And Gurudev said one of the talk, if that way, after teaching the class for about inspiring them, if that way intelligent youth, dedicated and all, if that way the youth in my country are with me, in 10 years, the face of the country can be changed, he said. So honest, integrated and committed youth we wanted. And he gave a camp training conference, the word given, camp training and conference. We used to have all those meetings, annual camp tracons used to be there. And national youth camps, bike yatras, cultural shows, not one, plenty natural projects also we had, quiz competitions, art of man making in 2000, and quiz on awakening Indians to India became very popular there. And another youth empowerment program and youth leadership program, which we have started in Hindi also. And must read books of Pujya Gurudev for the youth are Manual of Self-Unfoldment, Kindle Life, We Must, Art of Man Making. And for one and all, ones who have read all the books, for one and all to read is Every Breath a Teaching. This is about Yuva Kendra. And then we come to Devi Group's Mothers Group. In 1958, November in Chennai, it was started. And once 700 women delegates from 23 towns gathered at the palace and at, I don't know how to pronounce, Vengwad Palace at Kollangoad, Kerala for Chinmaya Devi Conference, 700 women. And mother is a center, mother is a pivot. Mothers are very much important. Mother is taught culture, and that's when a family will be blossoming forth beautifully. And then later on, after Gurudev's Mahasamadhi, we have started Vanaprasthas in 1996, Chinmaya Vanaprastha Samsthan, to teach the old people, retired people, financial management, health management, relationship management, yoga, meditation, and developing Vairagya, a little bit of Vedic texts, I mean, Vedanta texts and all that. And 2007, we started Swaranjali group, Bhajan group, across all the world centers. And we have that Bhajan groups, they sing bhajans and names of the Lord. They sing in all programs. And we have magazines also. Earlier, we used to have magazine Tyagi, then Usha, then finally became Tapon Prasad. Balwar magazine also we have. And other organizations, other wings are Chinmaya International Residential Schools, wonderful, or Chinmaya Vidyalayas. The education movement started in 1965, the first school in Kollangoad, Kerala. And currently we have around 86 schools, not around 86 schools. We have 9 colleges, 12 vision schools, and 1 university, Chinmaya Vishwavidyapit, which has just started a couple of years back. And there are almost 1 lakh students studying in our Chinmaya Vidyalayas, and we have 6,000 teachers. And right now we have 5 lakh alumni of Chinmaya Vidyalaya students. And 1 international school, very beautiful, CIRS. Gurudev wanted that because those parents who are in abroad, Their children they should get back to Indian roots. So for them, with the very five amenities, the 5-class, first 5-star amenities provided, because they need that. So children, wonderful, the Chinmaya International Residential Program. And we have developed a Chinmaya Vision Program also, which is a backbone for all Chinmaya Vidyalayas. Right? And Chinmaya International Foundation, Adi Shankar Nilayam, I talked about it. Gurudev says, my attempt here is to build a study and research center where both Eastern and Western scholars can come and stay, and thus bring out the relevance of the ancient terms and terminologies of our Sanskrit literature in the context of the modern way of life. This is the most appropriate place to do such research, because it is here that the great commentator of the Upanishads, Sri Adi Shankaracharya, was born around 1200 years ago. And in the end, long note of that long note, Gurudev says, thus Chinmaya International Foundation has been set up with a view to bridge the fully developed, time-tested, trusted ancient science of the East and the modern developing branches of science in the West. It's a meeting ground for Eastern and Western thinkers to open up new channels of world-saving thoughts. So Chinmaya International Foundation is a bridge between East and West, past and present, science and spirituality, Pandit and public, declared Gurudev. So they have a lot of camps and courses and online Sanskrit courses, Vedanta courses, Gita, and talks by eminent scholars on different Darshana Shastras, Indological works they do. It's a beautiful, holding conferences on many deep subjects of our scriptures. That's a big work. That big set of Swamis are there, Acharyas. Those are well versed in Sanskrit and scriptural knowledge, they are doing it. And Guruji started Chinmaya Vibhuti, a huge, it's about in spanning around 60-70 acres in near Pune. That is become very great center for our conferences and all, where about 1,000 people can be accommodated. The big auditorium and wonderful place it is. And we also started Nadabindu College of Music, where eminent musicians come, and then they teach also. Our own musicians are there. And Chinmaya Institute of Management is there, a coaching center for civil services in Chennai. And Chinmaya Chardham, we call Chinmaya Chardham. Uttarakashi, Taponji's abode, and Siddhabari, Pujya Gurudev attained Samadhi there, that place. Mumbai Sandipini Sadhanalaya, where the sadhana started. And SIF, that is Cochin, where Gurudev's birthplace, that's called Chinmaya birthplace, and also Chinmaya, International Foundation, Adi Shankara. We call this four as Chinmaya Chardham. Okay. And I'll conclude in about 10 minutes or so, exactly. And first, Sandipini Sadhanalaya, Gurudev wanted to train brahmacharis to spread this knowledge. It was started in 1963 in Powai on 9th January 1963. Okay. So Gurudev wanted this, brahmacharis will go posted, that's called spiritual district, you would say, spiritual district. These brahmacharis and brahmacharis will go and work with the public and society, teaching them values, so, and then inspiring them and the culture, etc. It's a big work, and he visualized that. And this work has been going on. And then later on, Sandipini Sadhanalayas was started in different languages, English in, of course, Mumbai, then Hindi in Siddhabadi, Himachal Pradesh, Telugu, Kannada, Tamil, Malayalam, Marathi also we had one course, I think, and all such languages that has been happening. Okay, and Gurudev ensured that all brahmacharis get good food, comfortable stay, books, everything, clothing, medicine, everything is taken care of very well. He never allowed his students to suffer, children to suffer what he underwent in Tapon Kuti there. Around more than I feel, it's 18 batches are over in Mumbai, and also in other places are not counting, only in Mumbai 18 batches are over. And in Hindi also many batches are over. So altogether around 1,200 maybe, or more than that. I may be not correct, I may not be correct. Brahmachari must have been trained. And we have so many now, hundreds of Swamis, around 100 Swamis and Swaminis put together, and then Swaminis, many other Swaminis, and 100 Swamis around. Swaminis around 70, 80 must be there. Some brahmacharis are there, brahmacharis are there. Around 300, 350 monks are working full time. And Jagadishwara temple in Mumbai, very beautiful, famous, Gurudev started on 10th April 1964. So total number of books that are available in Central Chinmaya Mission Book Trust is around 1,000, more than 1,000 books are available, written by many Gurudev and many Pujya Guruji and many Swarupanandaji and many Acharyas of our mission. As I told you, Gurudev wrote around 100 books, 39 commentaries he wrote. Right? We have around 200 Chinmaya Mission centers in the country and about 100 plus centers overseas, presence around 30 to 40 countries that we have. Okay. So then Gurudev's books we must read certain books of Gurudev. Is that My Trek Through Uttarakhand, Holy Gita, Gurudev's commentary is most popular. As I told you, Self-Unfoldment, Art of Man-Making, Kindle Life, such books are required for youth, as I think also is another book. Vivek Chudamani, Meditation in Life, wonderful books. Ashtavakra Gita, oh my God, his commentary. And commentaries on Upanishads by Pujya Gurudev, worth reading all of them. Okay. And then videos, I told you already, some of the videos are available. Mainly, entire Bhagavad Gita is available. And Vivek Chudamani, classic talks on Gita also. This is a big treasure, video talks. Apart from many other talks are available. So that was about Pujya Gurudev. Okay. And we had Silver Jubilee celebrations of Chinmaya Yuva Kendra milestones in the year 2000. And we had 2001, 50th year of Golden Jubilee celebrations of Chinmaya movement in 2001 December in Mumbai, which 10,000 people gathered there. And we had centenary celebrations of Chinmaya birth centenary celebrations, 2015 and 2016. We had a Chinmaya Jyoti Yatra all over India. The Jyoti moved. It's a big yatra it is. And 50th year of Sandipani Sadhanalaya, 2020 to 2063 it started. So 2023 we had done it. And this year, 2023 and 24 is 108th birth year of Pujya Gurudev. 108th birth year. And we are planning to celebrate 75th year of Chinmaya movement, Platinum Jubilee in 2026. And last, I would like to read advice to mission acharyas and devotees, Pujya Gurudev. It says, Chinmaya was born on the Ganges bank on this day, Shivaratri. May this glorious day bring the seekers away from the confusions and higher up in their estimate of themselves and the world of truth. You are right. I'm a bit down in my physical structure. Later, he just wrote, Gurudev. Work is heavy. I have not yet found one who is an equal yoke fellow with myself to pull out his stuck-up cart of our Hindu culture. Let me work as best as I can. There's no other bull to pull that stuck-up cart of Hinduism. But believe me, let me work as best as I can. But believe me, I am not either mentally or intellectually or spiritually even a wee bit less strong. At the physical level, a little weak, but it doesn't matter. I am pouring my own blood and flesh as ahuti in this great national cultural revival yajna. Let me see if the divine be pleased at least by this. This must be our atonement of the sins of the past generations. Every one of us must thus strive. Don't say there is no time. In fact, there is no time to complain that there is no time. Press into effective service every spare moment. My disciple cannot rest any day without at least 18 to 20 hours a day, 6 to 8 hours at office, rest of the time in sadhana and preaching. Everyone must go out of their houses, walk into the neighbor's veranda and start talking with them. But before that, we must know sufficiently. Make use of the mission groups for this purpose. Everyone, not only Acharya, everyone. Go out of veranda, talk to people, share ideas like that. So I conclude these 4 sessions on 2 hours each with a Gurudev's pledge, wonderful pledge. We stand as one family, bound to each other with love and respect. We serve as an army, courageous and disciplined, ever ready to fight against all low tendencies and false values within and without us. We live honestly the noble life of sacrifice and service, producing more than what we consume and giving more than what we take. We seek the Lord's grace to keep us on the path of virtue, courage, and wisdom. May thy grace and blessings flow through us to the world around us. We believe that the service of our country is a service of the Lord of Lords, and devotion to the people is a devotion to the Supreme Self. We know our responsibilities, give us the ability and courage to fulfill them. Om Tat Sat. This is the pledge written by Pujya Gurudev, which we study after every class in Chinmaya Mission. It's a universal pledge. Invoking supreme blessings and working for society and culture does make our lives. In short, what is that Gurudev wanted to say? We have studied about Gurudev as much as we can in these sessions. Gurudev says, study, don't waste your time. Grow, share knowledge, meditate, realize your own essential nature. Come, I am waiting. So I conclude this talk by saying in a beautiful Telugu Tyagaraja's Pancharatna Krutis, where he says, Yandaro Mahanubhavulu Andariki Vandanamulu. There are so many great Mahatmas. To all of them, my prostrations. So that one of the greatest jewel of 20th century was Pujya Gurudev, who is eternal. I would say is Gurudev, not was Gurudev, is Gurudev. Because as Gurudev said, Rishis are eternal. So these great spiritual masters are eternal, always available for us to guide us and help us and lift us up to that spiritual plane. And we must only tune ourselves as best as we can and be available for them. Study, learn, reflect, grow, share, meditate. And in the end of our evening of our lives, when we die, when we leave the body, we must leave this world with great contentment that we have done great service, something to offer to the country, and we have served our best to the Rishis of yore. I thank you all for listening to these 4 talks, and a special dhanyavad, krutagnyata, gratitude to this organization, Advaita Academy, for giving us this wonderful opportunity. And thanks to Nitin and Ramakot Prasad for coordinating these talks, being online with me. May Gurudev and Guru Parampara, may Guru Tattva bless all the beings on earth. May there be peace on the planet as early as possible, without any problems. Let planet flourish. Let all beings, plant, animal, and human, enjoy themselves by bask in the grace and blessings of the Supreme. Thank you. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Sadgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai. I dedicate all these 4 lectures to lotus feet, the lotus feet of Pujya Gurudev, Swami Chinmayananda Maharaj, and all the Guru Parampara and great masters who have helped me in making these thoughts and gave me strength to speak on Pujya Gurudev, about whom we cannot talk fully. Thank you. Hari Om.
Thank you very much, Swamiji, for such a wonderful conclusion to this marathon lectures. I would say so much thoughts, so much food for thought, and so many information in this last session, especially about the activities of the Chinmaya Mission, about the books of Swamiji that we could all study and benefit. Thank you very much again on the behalf of entire Indica Moksha and all our viewers for taking time and doing these lectures on the life and legacy of Swami Chinmayananda ji. As you rightly say, the Guru Tattva is eternal. The forms may change, the way the Guru appears may change, but the Tattva remains same. With this note, we conclude the session. Thank you very much, Swamiji. Thank you, everyone. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Thank you.